Hey everybody, welcome to an exciting episode of 2.2.5 Fireplace Project on TinkerCad. Now, I knew something didn't look right. I knew that this 4 didn't look right to me. I knew that, a way for me to tell that everything's working is we've got inputs and outputs all filled up. And in the last episode, I was missing an input for 4. And then the outputs for 3 and 4 are going to go to another chip because 3 and 4 are going to another chip. That makes sense to me. But this didn't make sense to me. Why did I have 4 or 2 not Ds? I have a not D there and I have a not D there. So I looked back to the AOI and I noticed, wait a second, I only have 1 not D plugged in. This one is supposed to be a D. So this is why we always check our notes. And I'm really surprised a student didn't shout from the rooftops, hey, Ponder, you've got this wrong. So this should be connected to D right there. So coming from our D switch, so our 4th switch going into right here. So let's find our 4th switch right here, move this over, and then this is our input right there. I'll keep that as green. That now makes more sense to me. Okay, so this top section, all done. Let me just kind of erase this red line maybe a little bit better. Okay, so that's why we need our students to help us out. Our students they check our work, and I find that they love telling us, hey, you're wrong. So students, feel free. You can even comment below and say, yep, I knew that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to group this C and D switches up here, and we're going to group these here. Very, very similar to how we did this one and this one. We are going to we're going to call this one, this our 2nd gate, this our 3rd gate, and this our 4th gate, just like we have down here. But we are going to move over to this chip right over here, and this is going to be our fault indicator chip 2. So let's start doing this. Let's start plugging in C and D for input. And so from our 3rd switch, which is C, we're going to go to 1 and 2. So let's find our 3rd switch. I'll grab there. Move this down here. And we're going to go 1. I'm going to change this to, let's go purple. And then I'm going to jump it over. So now that is our C. And let's plug in our D here. So this will be switch 4. And make sure we're going to an input on 2. And I'll make this pink. And move that, jump that over. All right. So now I have an output 1. I have an output 2. Everything is, except for the outputs, are taken care of on this bottom group. Now let's work on the top group, which is down here, 3 and 4. Okay. So for for gate 3, we have it plugged in from B. So we can find where B is. So B is here and B is here. So we can find a spot where B already came. So here's an orange, here's a yellow. So we can actually jump this one right here as a yellow over here to our 3rd input. This one's an output. So here we go. And I'm going to keep that yellow. And then we have, let's see, this one right here is plugged into our not C. So that is our output for 1. So output for 1 goes to input for 3. I'm going to keep this as purple. All right. And then let's go down here for 4. So we need to find, let's see, C is going to be one of our inputs for 4. So again, let's find C. So C we use as purple. Yeah, so we just used, so this one right here comes all the way around. It is plugged into our third switch. I'm just double checking. All right, so we can actually take this right here, and this can be one of our inputs. I'm going to put this in 4B. I'll make that purple again. And let's see, this one right here, this is our not D. So the output of gate 2 is going to the input of 4. Output of 2, input of 4. Make that pink. And I'll admit, this is not the prettiest. And here's the other thing we want to do. Just like we programmed or we checked on that, let's check on this real. Let's plug a light into there, and then we'll plug a light into there and make sure that these work. So I'm going to plug a light into, grab a light, plug it into, where's an output on 4, and I'm going to grab this and put it on the output of 3. Okay, so we should have something. All right, we should have something turning off. These on the outside shouldn't matter, but on the inside, they should matter. So when I'm sorry, when I'm saying inside, I mean switches 2 and 3. All right, so we've got the blue light, or the light on my left, is staying on. Now when I'm using switch 3, it is turning off. What the light on the right turns on and off when I use switch 2. So as I go through this, you can see it's turning on and off at the correct times. Okay, should be working. We should have a good check. We should also be ready for kind of the finish line. We're going to do this and this next, and we are going to be done with this project. All right, one more part. Good job, everybody. Let's finish strong.